And let me adjust the camera because it's always off. And we are live.
Hey everybody, welcome, and we have a very, very special chat in store for you today. Hi, I'm Archie Bear, and I've got 30 years invested in the comics industry, working for both Marvel and DC on Spider-Man, X-Men, Batman, Superman, you name it, I probably have done it. And as always, there is Taylor with us.
Hi, you guys. I'll be reading your chat today, and if you have any questions for our special guest, I will read them for you, so don't hold back.
Yeah, this is an incredible special guest. I don't even know how the heck we got this person. Stop laughing, person. I mean, we searched high and low for this person. Like I said, this is a miracle that we even got this person and this person's in the same room with us. It's not even a phone in or anything like that. So it's pretty amazing. So Taylor, should we talk about the campaign a little bit first, and then we'll bring our incredible guest in here?
Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to add the link to the description in a minute or two for our current IndieGoGo campaign for Black and White Remastered.
Oh, that's right. You guys are probably wondering why this graphic is up. This will, well, if I say anything, it'll give away the guest. But yeah, I hope you're enjoying. This is the cover from 1994, and yeah. So you want to talk about the campaign? You want to talk about your exhaustion? You want to talk about?
We've been working tirelessly on this campaign, on the actual book, not just the campaign, because we are working on the book as we do this campaign. So not only are we monitoring that, but we're also, putting the book together, and remastering takes a while.
If you guys don't know, Taylor is, she works in the studio here with me, Hack Shack Studios, and you've been with me for about how long?
I want to say like 5 years now.
5 years, and she's an amazing, talented artist. But on this project, we are working as writers, and we've worked as writers before. We have a couple projects that we put together, and we did a fun revamp for God, what was it? What was the Chrono Kids revamp?
Oh, that's right, the Chrono Kids. We did a revamp of Art's book, Chrono Mechanics TM. Go ahead and check out chronomechanics.com if you're curious about what Chrono Mechanics is. But we did a little cartoon treatment.
For who?
For PBS.
Yeah, PBS. Can you believe it? PBS. Children's Broadcasting. Me doing educational cartoons for kids. The pitch went really, really well. We got pretty far up with it. And it showed a lot of promise with Taylor, so we just kind of kept working together after that. So we started working on revamping Black and White. So I just wanted to reintroduce you guys, if you didn't know, that Taylor's also personally involved with Black and White, and we're writing the stuff as we talk. How many pages? We worked till like midnight last night. I think we got 4
or 5 pages.
We got 4 pages out to the colorist, yeah. So I think that's a total of 7 now at the colorist. And I don't know if you know our epic color stories, but yeah, they are daunting. So is, how do you say his name? Perea?
I believe it's pronounced Perea.
Perea?
Periya is how he writes his signature.
Is he our 15th?
Is he our 14th or our 15th?
I don't know
We're losing
anymore.
track now.
But the pages he's turned in 2 pages so far, and they're incredible, and I can't wait to be able to show them to you. I think we're going to put them up on the IndieGoGo page as well. So, all right, IndieGoGo. Okay, here we go. This is going to lead into the guest. Are you ready, guest? Don't say anything. Because then I'll know.
And we just recently posted our push goals, and we're pretty close to our first one.
Oh yeah, that's where I was going with this. Okay, yeah. So let me do this real quick, okay? Because you got to tease these things. You just can't come right out and say it. Okay, so hey, once again, I should take this opportunity to thank you guys. This is nothing short of amazing. the total that we have here, and 258 backers, meaning 258 people will get to read and enjoy Black and White. Well, I'm hoping you'll enjoy it. I think you will. So this is going to give away our guest right here. If you can see this right here, the 15K stretch goal, you will get a signature from the great Pamela T. Bear, the original series writer, signature on all the graphic novels. So we'll be adding a signature at 15 for the talented Pamela T. Bear. And I think you know where I'm going now with the guest, but and look, I mean, we're under, what are we, like 640? We're like $640 away from making this thing happen. So without further ado, as they say, adieu, here is the great, lovely, talented Pamela T. Bear.
Hi, everyone. This is going to be fun. I've been so excited about doing this.
Yeah, this is a miracle. She usually doesn't make personal appearances, so
We had to call way in advance.
yeah, there was some scheduling issues because we wanted to get her on earlier on, but she was booked solid.
Oh, I know. I'm telling you, the laundry and stuff just is so hard.
She went from the life of the luxury life and spotlight of doing comics to having a little one, and then becoming a homemaker. So I think it all worked out in the end. But she's back. She's back. She's got the comic book bug. It's never left her. So I don't know. Should we talk about how we met, or how you broke into comics, or how should we do this? What do you want to do?
We could talk about how you and I met, which is fun because, as Art was saying, I don't usually like the spotlight, and I really am not a party person. And at the time, I was taking a class in makeup for movies and special effects and things like that. And so a friend of mine, her sister was having a Super Bowl party. And so she dragged me to this party, and I was kicking and screaming, and 2 or 3 times she threatened to, just throw me out on the side of the road. And that's where I met Art. He lived downstairs from her sister, and he walked in and he had this great mullet. And I was lost.
You should just say great hair. Like when you say mullet, then it becomes a punchline. It was a damn good looking mullet too.
Yes, and he had the Superman curl too.
There's a little front drop. Yeah. Yeah, so that was in Hermosa, right? Hermosa
Yes,
Beach?
yeah.
Yeah. So you were living in Redondo Beach?
Torrance at the time.
Okay, close enough. Close enough. This is all California location. So so what did we end up doing that night? Later, okay, so we left the party because we're not big partiers. So then what did we...
No, I was afraid you wouldn't call me, even though
No. What wasn't it that night that we took off from the party and then walked the Strand?
No, that was our first date.
No.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, go ahead then. I thought it was that night.
No.
Oh, you came by my apartment.
Right, because I was afraid you wouldn't call me, and so I needed horrible pictures and for this movie class.
Pamela studied acting. She did a little acting, and at this time she was studying special effect makeup.
Yes, and so we had to have pictures of...
Don't get into details.
Yeah, I won't, but people that had died to do the makeup. And so they left, my friend left the negatives for me with Art. I went over, picked them up, we went to lunch, and the rest is history.
But when we were on the Strand, we were walking along the beach. we were just talking. So this, okay, guys, I know this is gonna be cool. So I always thought that if I met a woman like this, I was gonna marry her. She likes the Three Stooges. So
The Stooges.
yeah, if you can find a woman that loves Stooges and then loves comic books, then you gotta marry her. So yeah, we were on the Strand, and so we were talking about the Stooges. And oh, by the way, we've mentioned it here before. What's your favorite Stooge? Taylor and I have already chimed in. So who's your favorite Stooge?
Oh,
And there was many. There were more than just the three.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I liked Mo. He was just so brash.
Ooh, she went Mo.
And I loved his hair.
Oh my gosh, even then.
Freddie says you're a keeper for sure. DJ said, by the way, they're laughing that you guys literally took a long walk on the beach for your first date.
Yeah.
But DJ said, Art is really lucky. It's one of your powers. And it's funny because they said you had a mullet. So you were like Doug back then.
Yeah. I think everybody had a mullet back then. If you were cool. So go ahead.
Oh,
We tangented.
yeah, Mo I loved the way he was afraid of nothing and would just beat everybody up because I always wanted to do that.
Mo always took charge. He was
Yes,
always
he
like,
did.
spread out, you
Yep.
bums or whatever. Like he always had the plan. Yeah, he was the man with the plan.
He kept him in control.
Yeah, a little bit like me. So also we were talking about comic books.
Mm-hmm.
So you said one of your favorites was the Fantastic Four, and you loved who?
Superman.
No. Who'd you love in the Fantastic Four?
Oh, yeah, jeepers. I think I liked, when I think back, Ben Grimm, I liked him. He, big rock guy again, could just go through walls. I do like those take charge type of things.
But you said that you liked him because he was a tough guy on the exterior, but he was all like he was the warm and soft guy inside. I
Sort
remember
of like a Twinkie, huh?
a little Twinkie-ish. But if you're eating a Twinkie and it's hard on the outside, then that's not a good Twinkie.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It does have the soft, spongy inside, but if you're eating a hard-shelled Twinkie, I don't know. I've never had one of those deep-fried Twinkies. Are they hard on? Have you, Taylor? Have you?
No. I make it a plan to eat anything deep fried.
But yeah. So anyway, yeah. So you talked about the Superman thing. So let's talk about Superman.
Ever since I was a kid, I read comics. I drove my family crazy with buying comics, and Superman was my all-time hero. And there's this one story, and I'm not sure I ever quite forgave my mom for this, but I had a Superman comic where he died. It was a what if, and Lex Luthor actually kills him with kryptonite. And I carried that thing around with me for days. I cried over it.
Aww.
Honestly. And my mom got so sick of me crying that one night while I was asleep, she came in and took it and threw it away.
No.
She did. So I stopped crying.
Would this be the book?
That's the book.
Well, how do you have this book now if your mom threw it away? I wonder.
Well, when I met Art, and I told him about this story, and he actually went to Mike Carlin at DC and said, do you guys in your archives have this book? And Mike was like, good grief, that's so long ago. He said, I don't even know that story.
Well, he also said, we killed Superman on the cover like more often than not just to sell the book. So which Superman was it? And so I described what Pamela had described as the cover.
Yes.
Yeah, so go ahead.
So finally, Art and I one day were at a comics shop in Torrance, and they had it. So he bought it for me, And at the time he bought it, this book is beat up. And he paid $8 for this book that had been a 10-cent comic.
If you didn't read the caption.
Aw.
I did it! At last I've killed Superman! Not a sign of life in him. His body is turning green with kryptonite poisoning. Cry your hearts out, folks. So maybe you cried your hearts out because Lex was telling you to.
Oh, it's good marketing.
He was like, Pamela, cry your heart out.
Aww.
He was talking directly to you.
No, the part that got me was the end, where at the very end, you see in the clouds, you see Superman's head.
Oh.
And so he's in heaven,
Aww.
and then there's these bad guys, and Superman comes bursting through the wall. Only it's not Superman, it was Supergirl.
Aw.
And it just, I'm sorry.
Wait a
I'm
minute.
tearing up now.
Wait a minute. So they left him dead for the entire day of the book?
Yeah.
Ooh.
As a kid, that feels like so long.
Yes.
Ooh, so you had to wait. Did you ever get the follow-up?
No, I did not.
So as far as you were concerned, he was dead and
He
gone.
was gone.
A lot of people in the chat really sympathize to this, and one of them said they had a similar reaction as a kid when Optimus Prime died.
Yeah.
Aw.
There's your the death of Superman story right there. Oh, it's a 3-part imaginary novel, so you should, yeah.
Yeah, well, tell my family that.
And as a kid, they're all imaginary. You don't know the difference.
Yeah, they're all made up. Yeah, so I guess this would be the disclaimer, Pamela, but you didn't know what it was at the time. Maybe your cover was ripped like this one. You couldn't read it.
That was a pretty thoughtful gift, though.
Yes, it was.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Yeah. So, yeah, the geekery runs deep in the T-Bear household. So, yeah, so I imagine you reacted a lot like Jimmy, Lois, and Perry White. Great Caesar's ghost! I like how simple things were. Like the clinical way that you tell somebody's dead is a stethoscope. Stethoscope, I should say.
They're not really trying to stop them either. I mean, I guess they're behind a window or something, but they're just kind of like...
It shouldn't hurt them.
There's still time.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. So the thing that's weird too is that we found out later that all this radiation that Lex was exposing Superman with was jacking him up as well.
So maybe it's good that they're like not right up there, because he's like right in that kryptonite light.
Yeah, it looks like it's slightly in front of him, but yeah, he's close enough, man. Yeah, he's close enough. Didn't he don a kryptonite ring and then he lost his hand or something?
Poetic justice.
Yeah. Okay, so we got to focus back on Pamela. So
I'm good.
We're going off on kryptonite here.
And by the way, you guys, like I said, or like we actually established, the first push goal is to get Pamela to sign the books. So in the description, we have a link to the campaign, and it'd be awesome if we could reach that today while Pamela's here.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Thanks for keeping us on track. Yeah. So. Wait. Well, I clicked the wrong one. So this is the book that. Well, we're missing a beat, right? We're missing a lot of beats. Are we missing the whole settling down?
Yeah, you guys
starting
should go
a family,
on.
getting married.
Yes, we did all that.
Well, also, we know that you were a comic book fan now, but did you ever see yourself writing a comic series at any point?
Ooh, good question.
Not really. I wrote the policies and procedures for Northrop.
Oh, okay.
So it was, I was more a technical writer. And, you know, every comma had to be in the perfect place and that kind of stuff. So when we actually, DC had given us an okay to write a Starfire Nightwing.
Oh, nice.
And this thing was epic.
Okay, I'll fill in and then you can tell the story. So this was probably
90.
90 exactly.
Right.
Okay, so this was 90. This is as the industry started booming. And I was working on the X-Men with Jim Lee and Will Spatacchio. And so I had a friend, John Peterson, over at DC Comics, and he was Mike Carlin's assistant editor, but now he's full-time editor. And he was editing all the Titans books. And the Titans in the early 90s were making a little bit of a mark, and they were moving up and starting to kind of be X-Men competitors. And I always thought that DC's Teen Titans were always like the natural competitors to the X-Men. And so their sales were going up, and John, I've known John forever. When I broke in and when he was first starting editorially at DC, we met early, and so he always knew that I felt that way about the Teen Titans. And so when he started editing, he brought me in, and what did we do? We did a summit, right?
Mm-hmm. It was a Titans summit up at Universal City.
Yeah, what DC used to do is very cool. Sometimes comics can be just amazing. Well, a lot of times it can be pretty amazing. This was even I think we just had a treatment, right, for it? The Titans.
Yeah.
The Titan series that Pamela and I were going to do. We were going to write it together, and then I was going to draw, pencil, and ink it. And so, yeah, there was a big summit, and they had Marv Wolfman, Lynn Wein, Louise Simonson, Kevin McGuire was there, Tom Grummett. Who else was there? Am I missing somebody else?
No, I think
John, and then Pamela and myself. And we got to go to Universal Studios because we were staying at the Sheraton, right?
Sheraton there, yeah.
And so DC paid the tab, so we stayed at the Sheraton a couple nights, and we went to Universal Studios and got to hang out. So it was kind of like a little bit of work and play at the same time. So it was a lot of fun. So at that meeting, we got to officially pitch the Teen Titans to everybody. And so Marv gave his thumbs up, and so did Lynn, and I'm gonna let you take it from there.
This was going to be so epic in size, and at the very end, Nightwing and Starfire were going to get married.
Engaged. Yeah.
Yes.
Like Marv signed up on the engagement, but he was going to do the wedding.
The wedding episode.
Yeah.
And DC had even said that we could use in the very last page all of their characters.
The Justice League characters. Yeah.
So they would be all in this crowd. It was going to be fun. We had special ideas because that was at the time when comics were starting to do fun things like the trading cards, and we had come up
holograms
yes.
and all kinds of 3D stuff, and
we had come up with reprogrammer vision, and we were even talking about doing some of this stuff in 3D.
Ooh.
Yeah, so what it was is remember I'm an old guy, but maybe, did they have the High Life magazines when you were a kid? Was it Highlight or
Highlight?
Highlight for kids?
Remember
they were like a
those.
magazine-sized book.
I don't think so. I think I missed all that stuff. I was born in 1990, so...
Yeah, she's a youngster. And so they used to have these things where it was, they were like the 3D glasses of old, but they had a filter in them. And if you could find objects within an object. So if you put the glasses on, you could see things that you couldn't see with your naked eye. And so what we thought would be cool in the comic book is that the villain is that they can do stuff that nobody can see. Ooh. So almost like a cloaking, and they can leave clues for each other, and they can do stuff, and that you would only be able to see those with those little glasses. So like Pamela said, it was reprogrammer vision, which what we were calling it, and it's a simple technology. So in the printed comic, there would just be certain things that would be printed in certain color schemes that only the filter or the glasses would pick up. So you could see things within the comic that you couldn't see with your naked eye. And that was part of the villain's kind of powers and stuff like that. But also, what was really cool about that at the time is that DC signed off on Batman. So we didn't just have the Teen Titans to play with, but we also had Batman to play with. So in a nutshell, the story was that Starfire gets kidnapped by the reprogrammers, and they're going to reprogram her and turn her into, I don't remember the villain's superpowers or whatever it was. And so then, in a nutshell, Dick Nightwing has to find her. So it gets pretty epic because it's space and they're like aliens and stuff like that. And so one of the scenes is that that Nightwing was so distraught and he hadn't slept, kind of like Taylor and I with this campaign, and he couldn't sleep. So he was just searching constantly. And one of the ideas that we had, I still think it's cool, is that he puts cameras all around the city so that he can find, he can spy basically. This is before, like a lot of satellites and stuff like that. So he could actually kind of see the goings on and stuff like that. So he could kind of monitor things. And so he's just frantic. And so then finally Batman comes and says, hey, I forget what he screws up. Nightwing screws up somehow. And so Batman's like, you got to calm down. You got to, I know all about obsession and you're obsessed, kid. So then he's like, kind of like that stupid where he says F Batman, but he doesn't say it. He just kind of like, I'm not going to stop until I find Starfire. And then he's like, you need to stop. And so then they get into a fight. And so I always thought it would be cool to see Nightwing and Batman fight in a way that shows that Nightwing is a really, really good fighter and that he can hold his own against Batman. And so the two kind of go toe to toe. And I thought what would be fun about the fight is that we never really tell the reader who wins. So they both get their licks in. So you never know if Nightwing wins the fight or if Batman wins the fight, because Batman is the saner of the two at this moment. So then he just knocks him out with a gas pellet and tell him the line.
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh man, you came up with it. It was a long time ago. He said you always were cranky when you didn't get enough sleep,
that's
Dick.
Right.
And then he just throws Dick over his shoulder, and then Dick wakes up in a hotel room, and then Batman just lays out a bunch of clues and things that he was missing because he was too obsessed. So then, I just thought it was like a cool father beat, because the one thing about Batman and Nightwing is that they're kind of a father and son as well. So I thought we'd play up the dynamic between the two as like a father and son team, or just a father and son. So Batman knows all about him since he was a kid. He always got cranky when he didn't get enough sleep. And so then, he helps him out by giving him a bunch of, clues and things to find. And then he puts him on the path of how to take these guys down and find them and all that other stuff. So that was that. So then what was after that? We were married by that point, right? Or no, it was after that.
We didn't get married until 93.
Yeah.
So you guys wrote that engagement story before you guys were kind of tying the knot?
Maybe
Yes.
we were engaged.
Yeah, maybe.
It might have been on both your minds.
Yeah, it could have been. But yeah, we had so much fun doing, just putting all that together. And we were so sad when John left DC, because then the editor that came on was like, no, I've got a vision of where I want the Titans to go. And so we never got to do it.
Yeah, so it kind of fell apart when John left DC, and also Marvel had just offered me the ongoing series of Cable. So I had something pretty big to go to, and so it just kind of wasn't worth it to try to work things out. So
Was that story the first thing you guys wrote together?
Yes.
yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, it wasn't. We had a Green Hornet pitch. There was another party, but you and I pretty much ended up writing it.
Go for it.
Well, I think this is about you, so we'll keep moving forward with this. This will take us back. We'll talk about the Green Hornet pitch at some other time.
Oh yes, because Art loves the Green Hornet.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a Kato fan
from way back.
Well, Green Hornet kind of ties into Black and White's origin as well,
Yeah.
if I recall correctly.
So you want to just use that as a segue to talk
Sure.
about Black and White? Okay. So, Green Hornet, Black and White.
Yeah, we came up with the idea for Black and White after going to an auction of
It was a Bruce Lee,
Lee's,
yeah.
effects, and we were watching all these people and just enjoying some of the things. Bruce Lee's wife was there.
His daughter,
The
too.
daughter, Shannon. And it was really an interesting thing. So on the way home from that, we started talking about vigilantes. And we came up with Black and White. And that's how we started this whole
Yeah, we just started
crazy
brainstorming.
ride.
Yeah, we started brainstorming from there. And
So what were all your guys' influence as far as writing goes for Black and White besides the Green Hornet?
just I always liked the vigilante stories. I always liked Batman and like the more non-super powered characters like Daredevil, the street level characters, and I like that, and I liked spy genre as well. So, you know, instead of Britt Reed in the Green Hornet was a newspaper guy, I thought it would be interesting to make, you know, Reed Blackett. Can you see the even the name? Britt Reed, who's the Green Hornet, and Reed Blackett. Okay, so yeah, so he was an ex-spy, or is an ex-spy, and so I thought that would be a more interesting background than a newspaper reporter, because newspaper reporters in the old days was a great way to get the hero into situations, because you know it could come out of the news, you know, a news flash, and then the hero can go take action. This way you have a spy, so the spy is always bringing intelligence in, is always looking, you know, for things, trying to, you know, information gather. So I thought it would work the same way, the same type of dynamic. And then we were just talking about, well, what if, you know, Kato was female, but was also martial artist? Because I like the idea too that somebody doesn't fight necessarily with weapons all the time, that they're pretty good with their hands. So I like that kind of just a fighter, just like Daredevil, you know. And Batman's kind of the same, but he's got some gizmos. These guys have some gizmos, but not a lot. So then the personality, I don't know, when did she become ballistic? When did she become...
Well, we were going at during the early 90s is when all that, the Lethal Weapon movies and all that were out, and the Terminator, you know, all those things with the fun, cheeky, campy sort of dialogue. And so we just thought, well, she can also be totally ballistic and a smart mouth. So that's where we came from with that.
Keep
Sorry,
talking.
writing something down. Did you have any differing influences than arts?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Did you have any differing influences? So these are mostly like 90s movies and action stuff?
Yeah, until I met Art, I never was really big into action because I always equated it with just gore. And I'm not like a horror person. I don't like gore and things like that. But when we met, and he started slowly introducing me to movies that were just, yeah, there was some blood in it, but it wasn't, you know, arms being ripped off and beating people to death with them. And so I came to realize I really liked action adventure and the danger and the good guy always winning, because the good guy must win.
And the neat thing about the 90s action is I guess it was considered intense at the time, but they were really fun too, like Die Hard and stuff. There was a lot of wisecracking and jokes and stuff. So
And
a
that's
lot,
us.
yeah, a lot of those sensibilities got into black and white. So it does get into it's kind of like a sci-fi action adventure thriller with humor involved. And the humor isn't like they're jokesters and things like that, but there's humorous situations and there's humorous lines. Like kind of like Mel Gibson's character in Lethal Weapon would like eeny meeny, miny, hey Mo, and then he shot that guy. Another Three Stooges reference, if you weren't paying attention. Like just stuff like that. So there's jokey stuff, and a lot of the jokes mainly come from Whitney. Reed's a little more serious,
Yes.
serious-minded. So what do you want to talk about next? Do you want me to start asking?
You guys haven't talked about the Golden Apple
Ooh.
story yet.
Yeah, we'll talk about the claim to fame stuff, all the red carpet celebrity stuff.
Well, that was definitely fun. I loved going to Golden Apple, but my biggest, when I think of Golden Apple, what I remember is locking ourselves out of the house. And
no, you're not going to tell this story.
Yes.
No. Okay.
We had just bought this house, and the lock on the door was one of those of when you walked out, you were locked out. And so we were rushing to get into the car, and we had, stuff that we were taking to Golden Apple, and we walked out of the garage door and it was locked, and we didn't have the car keys.
Yeah, it was one of those doors that lock, like if it's set on the other side, when it closes, it locks, and we realized we didn't have the keys.
And we couldn't go anywhere. And we had to be up in LA.
Wait a minute, did we even have the keys to the car?
No.
Oh, man.
We couldn't go anywhere. And we went all around the house trying every window, and everyone was locked. So finally, Art dragged a ladder to the downstairs bathroom.
It's a smaller window.
It's a small window, but they're all double paned. And we couldn't get that doggone window to break. We were hitting that thing. We had rocks. We tried.
I'm throwing rocks at my own window of my own house. And we just bought the house. So I'm like, oh God, this is horrible. So these rocks are just bouncing off the window. So we keep looking for bigger rocks to throw at the damn window. and on top of that, we finally broke the window out. Oh, but they're big panes of glass. And so the bathtub is on the other side, so it ended up damaging the bathtub, all this glass hitting the tub.
It took the enamel off the tub.
Oh my gosh,
and
yeah.
then we had to I didn't, Art did, had to climb in this small window without cutting himself to shreds. And of course we were dressed, to go do a book signing. And
I'm lowering myself into a tub of broken glass. This is like Die Hard, when he didn't have the shoes on and he has to walk through the glass. Thanks for telling us. Oh, I just wanted to add something else. You guys always call me a boomer because I'm old. Well, I've always been like this, so it's not old age.
People love this story.
Oh, God.
Well, we laugh now, but that day, we were not happy. I mean, it was one of those, Art would look at me and he'd go, I don't like your face. And I'm like, well, I don't really like yours right now either.
So we obviously had the right attitude to go and show a united front at the Golden Apple book signing, which was amazing. Had you ever done anything like this prior?
No.
So you were just thrown in the deep end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things, the highlights of that is this is in Melrose. This is in Hollywood, LA area. So this is the big comic shop here in SoCal, and so a lot of celebrities and people like that go shop there and buy books. And we didn't have Michael Jackson. Do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
we had Michael Jackson's people. And if you watched his documentary, what was it on, that one interview that he did where he's buying all that stuff? Do you remember that, Taylor? What was?
Oh, that's right. Oh gosh, I forget the big documentary. They followed him around and showed how he had those people like basically carrying the stuff he bought and stuff. I forget what it's called.
Right, that guy. But it was like it was getting blasted because it wasn't showing Michael in the favorable light.
He was
but,
in debt and stuff, and they kind of showed that a lot.
Yeah, but on that show, just to show that he did have these people, because I look back and I think this was so nutty, is that on that show they had people going and buying stuff for Michael. So he sends people all around the world and they just purchase things for him. So I guess Black and White was close enough to his song, you know? And so it wasn't just one buyer. There were like 3 guys, and they came in there and they bought just a ton of multiples of Black and White #1. And they had us all sign those. Do you remember that?
Yeah, now I do, yeah.
And then I think we asked him, it's like, why do you have so many of these? It's like, we purchased things for Michael Jackson. And he heard about this book and wanted us to buy. And I guess if you're Michael Jackson, you don't just buy one book. You buy multitudes of books. And so, yeah, we signed every one of them. Yeah. So I'm sure somewhere in Neverland Ranch, he's got a Black and White #1
pile of black and
floating around. Yeah. So what else happened? I think you have another interesting story.
Well, I did keep threatening to steal the Brandon Lee signed picture off the wall. They had to watch me.
She's a big, like, Crow Brandon Lee fan.
Yes. And I remember for me, when we pulled up, seeing that line of people coming out of the store and around the block, I wanted to run. I was like, what is going on? I was so scared.
Yeah, I had seen a little glimpse at Marvel with the X-Men stuff, but it was nothing like this.
Oh, it was crazy.
Yeah, we were like rock stars.
Yes, you were Doug. And I loved it. It was fun, and someone came up as I was signing a book, and they said, because Art was doing little head sketches on the comic, and someone said to me, hey, can you draw a head sketch? And I said, after I picked myself up off the floor, I said, I can only draw stick figures. And he goes, okay. And he shoved his book at me.
He just bought this book, and he was so cool. He wanted your drawing, yeah.
Yes. And he said, but you have to do the whole figure. So I drew a whole person, but they weren't naked. They did have shoes. And it was so funny because then people who had already had theirs signed, who were just still in, they got back in line. And
they wanted sketches too.
Yes,
that's right.
I have to draw these.
All right. I just handed Pamela a little Post-it, so she's going to draw what her sketch looked like, her stick figure sketch. I wonder if anybody has any of these books. If any of you guys have a sketch of Pamela's stick drawing, send it. This would be awesome to see. Oh my gosh, that was so fast. She is like proficient. When you guys see this drawing, your jaws are gonna drop. Like when she says stick figure, she's way underselling it. There is so much crazy detail on this thing, and she's fast. Like she makes me look so bad. Look at this, Taylor. Look at how amazing that is. I mean, Taylor and I have done signings, and she's done doodles and stuff like that. But I mean, have you ever seen anything that quick and that amazing?
No, but I definitely want one of those.
I'm inspired. Okay, you guys. So I might be overselling this, but I don't think I really am. I mean, when you guys see this, your jaw is literally going to drop. So let me see if I can put this in front of the camera. There it is.
So dynamic.
Look at those high heels.
She did thousands of these for the fans at Golden Apple on every Black and White comic. Oh wait, you got to sign it. Here, sign it real quick.
I'd buy that for $1. So
A RoboCop. I love that line.
Oh, that's funny.
make
Oh
it
my
a-
gosh.
Title says, make it a stretch goal to get a Pamela stick figure.
Oh, okay. You know what? Okay. All right. You said that. Okay. You guys think we're joking? We're not joking. Okay. So we're going to add this to the stretch goals, guy, since you demanded it. Okay. Every stretch goal, if we can, well, we should, let's try to do this today. Let's try to get this push goal where Pamela is going to sign every book.
Please.
And she, well, how would we do this if they don't want the drawing? Because we would have to do it for everybody. But if somebody doesn't want the drawing,
Can you say something in IndieGoGo? Is there? I don't know. Is there a spot to
where you
say
can add
no?
to the description.
Yeah, is there a, do you guys know when you make your order, is there like a special like comment section where you can write stuff? Because then you could write right there whether you want the stick figure or not.
Yeah, just to give you an option. But anyway, we will add it, and then we'll figure out how to make it work later. But there's the signature, the PT.
I like it.
Yeah, look at that. It's very well designed.
I think I made a mistake because it's a boy's hair. Because if
That could be
if it was white, she'd have longer hair.
Well, I don't know. Let me refresh this. I'm not sure who this is supposed to be. I'm not even sure. Are those high heels or the little spikes? The high heels.
Yes,
Okay, so
yeah.
it's definitely a female. Yeah, the anatomy, you nailed it. I mean that is a shapely looking woman right there. So you know what? If there's a little like note, okay, we'll do this. Okay, if there's a note in like section in the IndieGoGo, and you guys want your beautiful rendering of whoever this fine looking lady is, she'll add that with the signature. So we're only, I should refresh soon, but we're only like 650 or something like that away from the first stretch goal or push goal. So you guys can not only get a signature from Pamela T. Bear, co-writer of the original series and editor-in-chief of this new venture of Black and White, but she'll also give you a little doodle of, you gotta name this person, this character. It's Miss Stone.
Yeah. I can even, truthfully, that's not my biggest claim to fame. Making a boy's face out of the word boy is my claim to fame.
Oh, well, that sounds too intricate.
That sounds cool.
I'll have to show you later.
I'll have to show you. I don't know. We're going off on a tangent. So yeah. So we'll figure out. So if you want a little doodle from Pamela, she'll throw that in. Absolutely no charge.
We gotta get to 1,500, so
Yeah, we have to do that first, and then we can have fun.
15,000. I mean.
Yeah, 1,500. That was days ago. Yeah, I'm glad you cut yourself.
And we're so close, you guys.
And then the signings kept going. So we did New York. the
Oh
Great
yeah, I
Eastern.
remember New York. That was fun.
Yeah, so we did the Great Eastern.
Cold.
Yeah, it was cold. Yeah, it was winter time. So we did a Great Eastern comic, and we did the Great Eastern Comic Con. It was at the Javits Center. So this is before the big New York show, but this was pretty big at the time. So we razzled, we dazzled, and you did your stick drawings because by then they were legendary. So we did that. I think we might have had that ash can around that time too. So I think the New York Comic Con, Great Eastern is what it was. And I think in the back of the book, you can see it says Great Eastern Comic Con as one of the sponsors of the ash can. So I think that was our debut for the ash can. And so we did that. And then we did, Mile High used to have a cable show. And it was a public access thing here in Orange County. And so I forget the guy's name now. He's a legendary like comic shop and collector. God, what is his name now? If you guys know the guy who runs Mile High, I'll give you a cyber frog buck, and he had us on, and that was pretty cool too. So we did a big signing at Mile High. And it went really well. And then I think the night before we did the show. So we were on TV pushing, promoting Black and White, and then we did the signing the next day.
Are we talking about Bud Plant?
Bud Plant, Mile High. No, Bud Plant was.
Oh, he had the books.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Gosh.
I can't remember his name.
He
either.
just did an article about San Diego Comic-Con, how he pulled out of the San Diego, and the Bud Plant guy, so that's probably what you're thinking.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, so since the San Diego Comic-Con isn't as much about comics anymore, those two guys, and they're both legendary as far as running shops and just, selling comic books and things like that.
And being at San Diego regularly.
Yeah, they were the big booths, and they had been there forever. So we did Mile High. So we got your stick figures. Was there anything else? Any other high points?
Chuck Rosinski.
That's it. Cyberbuck goes
Thanks,
to you.
MK Geiger.
Yes, thank you so much. And the way the Cyberbucks work, if you want one, send me your email through. We have a way to contact. What is it, through Art?
Yeah, if you go to artbytbear.com, there's a contact form. Just contact Art through that, and we'll send you a Cyberfrog buck.
Yeah, we'll send you a buck. We should always have those on standby when we do these shows, so you could see it. It's pretty funny. It's like a $100 bill, and instead of the president, we have like Cyberfrog in there. It's pretty funny. It works really good too, because Cyberfrog's green and money's green. So, what we call it, the greenback, the frogback buck, the Cyberbuck, the frog dollar.
Do you guys take fan art as Son of the Platypus? Sorry to derail.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you want to post, we have the Facebook site. Can they post things up? Or
Yeah, if you follow the Black and White Remastered Facebook page, you can send us or post your fan art on there. We actually posted some of the fan art from back in the 90s up there recently.
We're actually backing up. I think we have a few more, so we should try to get some of those up today. I think I have a note somewhere. Can they send stuff through that Art by T Bear link too? Can they send their artwork through there?
I don't know if you can send attachments through that or not.
You might want to try, because if it goes through the email, my email system, I'll see it more than I would anywhere else. But the Facebook site's probably the best, right?
Yeah,
at this
Facebook
point?
is probably the most direct.
Yeah. So yeah. If you guys are gonna draw, doodle away and send, because I love looking at that stuff. And I'm gonna let Taylor talk about this, because this was her idea as a possible stretch goal.
Oh, are we talking about the fan art book? Yeah, we were talking about towards the beginning of the campaign, if we get up there high enough, it would be cool to publish a sketchbook or an ashcan that was filled with fan art. So if you guys start creating fan art and we start making the goals, then it'd be cool. We could showcase all of your guys' black and white fan art in one collection.
Yeah, I think it would be cool. It'll have to be down, a little bit higher as a tier, because it'll be expensive to print a whole nother book, but we could. I think it'd be fun, and at the very least, maybe we could figure out something else to do. Maybe even on this show. Ooh,
we could showcase. Yeah.
That's what we're gonna do, guys. We're gonna showcase all your artwork. So blast me. You know what? We also have that. What is it when we open for the art reviews?
Yeah, we do.
The media fire.
It would be cool. You know what, you guys? I'll add the link to. That's a good way to send the fan art too. I'm gonna add the link to the video to. We have a media fire where people submit their artwork for the portfolio review. We could actually use a few submissions for those anyway. So if you'd like to submit your artwork for Art to do a live portfolio review, please send it there. And if it's black and white related, that would be even better, because then we could do a special episode of black and white fan art.
Yeah, we can review the fan art, or we can just do a special fan art edition or several fan art editions of Hacks Chat. So we can go and we can basically we'll put the stuff up and give you a little showcase. So we can showcase your art and just always make sure you put your name in the file, because sometimes you guys sign your names in the artwork and I don't see that. Sometimes you'll have your name attached to the email, but I don't see that. So when I put them up in Photoshop, all I see is the tab. All I see is what you named the file. So put your name in the file, because it would be horrible to, give you the spotlight and not be able to, say your name.
And please send them relatively high res, like 300 would be ideal, because sometimes, especially with traditional artwork and inking, the line art really deteriorates when it's low res, so it'll be hard for art to give you an accurate critique on like line work, like inking and stuff, if it's not high res.
Or just to show it off, because sometimes I'll blow things up, like I'll blow this up. So I'll blow it up so you can see more details. And so it's always nice to have a higher res image so I can do that with that. So we should talk about the success of black and white, and then the inevitable end of black and white.
Well, it's, I am so excited, and I want to thank every one of you for supporting this IndieGoGo. These characters are just so real to us, and after the mini series, we decided to do the ongoing, and because it took me some time to develop from my writing tech style to a new style of writing, and I do think that with the ongoing, we were coming into a great rhythm. It's just that the industry was now on the downslide, but the companies that were doing, all the work had not lowered any prices yet.
So like the coloring houses, and at the time there was actually film output. So film output was $100 a page just for film output. So just to clarify,
yes,
lettering was expensive.
Yeah, everything was still for those, those days.
And to back up, the first 3 issues were a huge success. So the image books were selling very, very well. So we figured that black and white, the ongoing, was just a logical progression. Like, why not, right? We have so much success with the 3 issues. Let's do it as an ongoing. And I'll let you pick up from there.
Well, it was just at that point that like you said, the industry was sliding, and we just at that point did not have the funds to pay the huge prices, because still the production houses and color houses did not want to lower their prices yet. It hadn't sunk in that things were changing. And so we just could not afford it. So this was issue 1 of the ongoing. And I have always wanted to finish this story. And so hopefully after getting black and white, the IndieGoGo for the 248 page, you guys would also want to see this ongoing. And there's zombies and all sorts of fun things in it. So thank you guys. Thanks for listening to me. Thanks for supporting, and you guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
It sounds like Pamela's tagging out. Or tapping out, I guess. Yeah, so we have 3 issues, I think, we have finished. So only one of the ongoing codename Black and White saw light of day, and this is the copy here. And so like Pamela said, the numbers in the industry was just kind of going down, and we could have, I think we predicted even at half the numbers from the year before, and they started moving down so quickly that the numbers were just so low that we just couldn't make ends meet. And so I ended up having to go back to Marvel for a steady paycheck, which was not easy to do after we made such a stink about leaving and forming Image. So, Taylor, do you have anything? Should we try to wrap this up, or where are we at? Do we still have? I mean, we still can. We still have this gem.
Yeah, if you guys have any final questions you might want to ask soon. I think we're going to get ready to wrap up. I just added the link to the Dropbox in the description. So if you'd like to submit some fan art or even some artwork for the portfolio review, please do so using the link. And make sure you add your name to the file and send it in high res.
Is the IndieGoGo link there too?
The IndieGoGo link is there as always. If you'd like to support Black and White and help us get to that push goal to get Pamela's signature on the book.
And possibly,
and of course that.
Ooh, it's in 3D.
There's a lot of people asking you for tutorials.
Reprogram revision. I'm sorry, I'm being stupid. Yeah, I mean, in the review, if you send your work, it's not quite a tutorial, but I do get into some techniques and some real basic stuff about drawing and inking and things like that. So if you haven't checked out some of our older videos, they're the ones with the big red smiley face with the yellow background on them. Those are the portfolio reviews, and I think we're at 20 now.
Yeah,
right?
we just did episode 20 of the portfolio reviews, but we're always in need of more artwork to review. Please try to keep it comic book related if you can. Art is a very good illustrator in general, but there are some people that have been submitting more like portraiture and stuff, and we might get to that, but comic book related artwork is always, I think, better.
Yeah, it's more my expertise, and I think people will enjoy seeing it more. And also the storytelling stuff is better. So I like the storytelling pages, the sequential stuff with story. So I think Taylor's going to read and try to catch up.
Chicken Smith says, always loved your stuff, reading Whitney in particular, gladly backing and spreading the word.
Thank you.
And spreading the word really does help.
Yeah, you don't always have to buy a book, even though we like that, but spreading the word and letting your friends and family know is also very, very beneficial. All word of mouth and getting the word out, because we don't have Marvel and DC, advertising and promoting this stuff. It's basically just us, yeah, and you guys.
And some people in the chat are talking about the import video, and yeah, liking and subscribing to this channel is important to us.
Yeah, and if you know any people that like this type of content, turn them on to the YouTube channel as well. That'd greatly be appreciated. Hit the bell for notifications and hit all the likes and stuff like that. We greatly appreciate this. I mean, this is so overwhelming, all the success and you guys coming out and just even hanging out with us in the chats is amazing to me. I work in a vacuum, Taylor. Well, everybody in this room work in a vacuum in a room like this.
This room, as a matter of fact.
This room is one of the, yeah. I don't know if you saw the video yesterday. I think, was it yesterday we posted? We had Hack Shack North, and then we're in Hack Shack South right now. So we're hoping to get a computer in Hack Shack North. So that's just basically the upstairs, downstairs rooms that we have dedicated to the Hack Shack Studios art, area that we do artwork and things. So thanks guys. And should I go over and see what we're at?
Yeah, let's see where we're at.
Okay.
The chat, I think, enjoyed hearing from Pamela.
Yeah, she's gone now. She's done. She dropped the mic. She did a mic drop. Oh, she's back. Okay, she's in and out of the Hack Shack South. Okay, so hey, somebody write down these numbers. These we're at 14,360, 258 backers. I hope you guys did us justice. Justice can only be
black and white.
And 15,000. God, we're so close. We're so damn close. It would be awesome if we got this today. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Drum roll. Okay, here we go. Ooh, that was Taylor's stomach.
Yeah, my stomach growled in unison.
Your stomach did a drum roll. So what were we at?
We sold another book. We went from 14,360 to 14,393. So it looks like we sold another book combo.
Yay!
A combo, yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks guys. Thank you so much. So we have the featured. So we have 100 sold now. We have 20 of these PDFs. That actually worked out. We have 120 or 102 of the books. That's really cool. 3 of the bundle. 6 of the graphic novel. This is what we call the buddy tier. So you get 2 books with a discount, and you save on shipping too. This is the ultimate discount where you almost get a book for free, and we have 8 claimed there. So it's the 2 graphic novels, 2 ash cans, and you save on shipping as well. Ooh, 7 drawings. So I get to do 7 drawings for you guys. So the 90s grab, which is all the ash cans and trading cards and stuff. We only have 1 left at the 150 tier, and then we have the ultimate collector's pack. So
and keep in mind, these 90s tiers, once this stuff is gone, it's gone. So that's why it's so limited.
Oh yeah, good point. Good point. So we have 3. So we still have 50 of the ultimate collector's pack, and that has pretty much everything that we licensed in the day for Black and White. I think except for the phone cards. So then we have the ultimate tier, which is everything at a pretty good price. I think this one also comes with your name in the book and a shout out.
That's right.
On Hacks Chat. And then we have Own a Page for 8, and then the original cover for 18, and If You Can Take a Punch. You want to tell them about the Take a Punch?
Yeah, this is you can get your likeness in the book, and I think we talked about it. It's 2 pages and I think 4 panels. There's a orderly character that gets punched in the face by Whitney, and that orderly could be you if you get this tier. So you will have your likeness in the book, and that character's also wearing like a name tag, so you could, if you wished, have your name in there as well. So if you want to be in the book and have a little cameo, that's the tier for you.
I just realized they couldn't see the tears because of the way the camera was on, so you can kind of see them a little bit better now. So yeah, check out the IndieGoGo. Thank you guys for all the support, and you guys have a great day, and we'll see you soon.